And welcome, welcome. So happy that you're here. I am going to give everybody a couple minutes to trickle in, but this is recorded, so you can always send this out if some folks were unable to make it. Welcome, welcome. I see someone else has joined. So happy that you're here. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. You can also share your LinkedIn if you'd like to connect with anybody. Also, if anyone has any burning questions that you want to make sure that I cover, let me know. I also apologize for the shirt that I'm wearing because it looks very trippy in the camera. I hope I don't give any of you guys vertigo or anything like that. And thanks for waking up so early to come to this in San Francisco. My goodness, I feel that. Hi, Gloria. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, from Saudi Arabia. This is amazing. So great to meet you all. And I am adding you on LinkedIn right now. So I will have one more minute here before I get things going and just let people kind of organically come in. I feel like I need some hold music or something. I do have a Jeopardy mug, so I probably should have had the Jeopardy music just on a loop. It may have made us all insane because I think it's only like a what, like a 15 or 30-second musical loop. So I would have had to do that on repeat for a while. All right. It is 10:05 Eastern Time Zone, so let's get this party started. Feel free to add questions into the chat. I'm going to be asking some questions as well, so feel free to answer those there, but they're also reflective questions, so you don't have to answer them publicly. You can just think about them yourself. But welcome. I am Sarah Caminiti. I am the chair of mentorship with the XM Global Collective. I am so happy to be here and introduce the mentorship program to you, the mentorship platform Mentor Loop, answer any burning questions that you have. This is such an awesome opportunity to connect with others within the XM space, and that is inclusive of CX, EX, throw in a lot of X's, and we are all here that actually don't do that, especially in search results. But sorry, this is what happens when I have too much coffee. But what I'm going to be doing today is walking through Mentor Loop. I'm going to be showing you how to set up your profiles, how to send those connection requests, what it looks like to get match requests, adding goals, looking at the recommended reading, and while doing so, show you how important it is to have mentors and mentees in your career and how impactful they can be for your career growth. I think especially in the CX space, that's my little nook and cranny. We can be so in the weeds, we can have our heads down, we can not give ourselves time to look up and breathe. It's very easy, sorry, dog coming in, uh, for us to think we're kind of the only ones experiencing these things, feel nervous to ask questions. But community like this community here, the XN Global Collective, um, is really where your career can flourish because you're able to be validated, you're able to build those relationships. Um, and it's a really beautiful thing. So, thank you for being open to these kinds of relationships, for being vulnerable enough to put yourselves into these new situations. Because when you're open to being vulnerable, I have found that the most beautiful things can happen. So, again, thank you so much. I am Sarah Caminiti. I am in Freeport, Maine right now. It is finally sunny outside. Who knows? We could get some more snow uh, in the next week or so, but fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. The couple of blooms that are in my yard would be very, very sad. So, what is Mentor Loop? This is a tool. It is a really cool tool that connects mentors and mentees based on values, based on goals and expertise. Um, it really just helps support you through that mentorship journey, and it organizes things in such a way that allows you to take a lot of the like admin work that you usually have to um, organize and maintain when you're building these mentorship relationships. So I am going to just throw a question out there. Again, you don't have to do it in the public space. You can just kind of think about it. But what's one thing that you're hoping to gain or offer through mentorship? Because I think that this is going to be something that comes up a lot as we start looking into the profiles. Um, and since it's such a small crew here right now, do all three of you um have you logged into Mentor Loop? Do you have a Mentor Loop account? I'll give a couple of seconds just to make sure that everybody where we are in the level of it all. All right, great. So if you have this part of the membership that has access to Mentor Loop, I would recommend walking through this with me. And you don't know where the link is. All right. Well, Gloria, you know what? I am not sure if I can definitely help you with that question, but it is a solid question. Let me just do a quick look here. Gloria, I'll get back to you on the link. If any of you have recently received a link, if you could throw in the chat where you received it, maybe that can help drive this a little bit. But when you signed up for your XM Global Collaborative membership, then that should have triggered it if you chose the program that has access to this. If you haven't, that's okay. Then maybe this conversation will get you curious and we can get you over there for sure. So once you create your login information, you're going to be asked to create a profile. And I already have created a profile, but what I'm going to do is show you what it looks like to edit a profile, because the setup of this is the exact same thing as what you experience when you are creating that first um, profile in the beginning. So let me share my screen. Awesome. Hopefully everybody can see my screen here. This is the Mentor Loop platform. Um, what I'm going to show you here is how to set up your profile to build those meaningful connections. So once you already have an account, you would go click on your picture up in the upper right-hand corner and select Program Profile. So what you will see here is all the different ways that you can kind of define what you're hoping to get out of this. If you are someone that just wants to be a mentor, you can select that. If you are someone that is looking, or excuse me, yes, if you are someone that is just looking to be a mentee and dip your toes into that arena, then you would select this. If you're kind of curious to see what happens, what the algorithm points you to, um, you can select both. And then here, you can define how you would like to be supported as a mentee. So, do you want someone to help you with skill development, career progression, work life balance, general guidance and support, personal development? If you're not sure, click them all. Who knows? Something could just pop up that you weren't expecting. You were actually looking for guidance or friendship or validation in? If you're looking to be a mentor, same questions. How do you want to support others? What focus areas do you wish to improve as a mentee? So here you'll see there's a drop down. Are you hoping that someone's going to help you build a career plan? Think that that is often something in our CX, EX, XM space that we don't give ourselves enough time to think about. And I think a lot of that's because this area has been growing and evolving so much in the last 15 years. So thinking about what's next, thinking about how your career can evolve, sometimes has a lot of question marks around that. So talking to someone about how to build your career plan and think about a career plan could be really meaningful. Networking, how do you keep up with it? What are the benefits of it? AI and customer experience. This is something that we're all hearing about all the time. Digital experience management, human centered design and thinking, innovation management, and agile methods. There are so many different ways that you can classify what kind of help you're looking for, and you don't just have to pick one. So if I pick the customer experience governance and operation models, I can also pick the voice of the customer. You can pick as many of these as you'd like. And since this is just the beginning, I would recommend going in with more than less because you never know what you're going to end up connecting with somebody on. And then if you're looking to be a mentor, same exact things. What are you an expert in, or what is something that you find joy helping others achieve? um, don't second guess yourself. If you think that you have something to give to others in any of these categories, select it, because you probably know a heck of a lot more than you give yourself credit for. Next, here, the what are you hoping to get out of this program? This is a really important question, and it's one that you want to give yourself a minute to think about, because this is what's going to kind of start guiding you towards the different types of folks that are in this program that we can connect with. Um, so don't put something generic like, I want to be better at work. I know that mine kind of does seem a little bit generic, but helping others see the power of networking and mentoring is one of the things that I am most passionate about, and so this is something that I'm hoping to help others see as well. So once you fill that out, you can even just do a dry run and come back to it later. You have that. Then you have the opportunity to kind of define yourself. These are all optional though, so don't feel like you have to do it. Put in your organization. What are your practice areas and disciplines? For this one, you can only select one, so just select the one that best suits you. What's your job title? How many years of experience? Where you're located? Give yourself a little bio. Sometimes these can be a little bit overwhelming. Lean into ChatGPT if you can. ChatGPT can take just some word vomit and turn it into something beautiful and magical. So do a brain dump of all of the little tidbits that you have about yourself. Put a prompt into ChatGPT asking to create a bio for a mentorship program. And I'm sure it will spit out something that is thorough and effective. What best describes you? I've got a lot of dogs. There are some days where I question whether or not I'm a dog lover, but I do love my dogs, and I guess I will put that in there. I'm a traveler. I'm a foodie. My husband is a chef, so I have to be, thankfully. It's a gift. I'm a music lover. All of these different things, because we can connect on so many different levels. And sometimes it's nice to have that as an easy icebreaker. Put your LinkedIn profile in there so that people can get to know you outside of the Mentor Loop platform. And then you got to save it. So you just created your profile. This is great. This is more than just a resume. This is your story. This is your space to really present yourself to others. Um, then we need to figure out what the heck a loop is. So you see mentor loop. What is a loop? I know that in a lot of the communications, Tom mentions loops and the importance of loops. When I first joined the mentor loop platform, I had no idea what the heck he was talking about. But the loop is the matching and communication tool. It's their fun little word that they have. So don't be don't be afraid if you don't recognize it right away. You are not alone. So let's see here. Loop is also how we're going to find these matches. So let's go to find a match. This is the space where you can kind of see where everybody is. You can see all of the people that are looking to be a mentor. You can see all the people that are looking to be a mentee based on what your needs are at the moment. You're able to then filter in what kind of match you are looking for. So if you decide, okay, first round, I want to find let's start with mentor. I want to find someone that can really help me understand what AI and customer experience looks like. Awesome. Okay, so we've got two people where that is their area of expertise as a mentor. You can click on their profile, learn more about them. So you can see all of the information, see if this is something that that makes sense for you to move forward with. You've got another one you can see. They're like, maybe that's not actually what I'm looking to do. Okay, cool, no big deal. Let's go to let's go to the voice of the customer one here. I saw that somewhere. Maybe I just made that up. All right, flip the script a little bit. Customer experience governance and operational models. Who's an expert in these? You've got four options. Again, you can just click. Got Jessica. She looks to be a very well-rounded mentor. She's got a lot of things where she has the skill set. She's formerly at General Motors. She used to be the global director of enterprise and customer experience. Something to be mindful of too. Um, if you're looking for someone that has similar experience in company size that is similar to yours, I know that startups have very different struggles and questions and curiosity than large companies like General Motors would. Their structures are different, their methods of communication can be different. So you can also just kind of do a little bit of Googling if you see where it is that they're working, see if this is something that makes sense for you to connect with. Um, we all know Tom. If you don't know Tom, Tom is the creator of the XMGlobal Collaborative. Tom is also the creator of the first master's program in customer experience over at the University of Michigan. So he has a lot of experience in bringing people together and thinking about customer experience and experience management from a growth perspective, as this is something important that you do need to have some areas of expertise on. This isn't something that everyone can do. So know that you are in a very special space by being a part of this collaborative. Um, so let's say you want to connect with someone. Okay, you're reading Tom's profile. Holy cow, this is amazing. This is definitely somebody that I want to chat with and see if they have the bandwidth to maybe be my mentor. You click on connect. Tom, you see here with the either, that means that he's open to either being a mentor or a mentee. In this relationship, I want to be the mentee. I want to learn from Tom. So then you can write a message. Hi, Tom. I really think I could learn a lot from you. Then you hit send request. You'll see at the bottom that this message has been sent to Tom. And then once he sees that, he will be able to respond. Um, what will happen on Tom's end once you send this over is see this blue dot here next to match requests. Click on that here, and you'll see where you send the message, and you'll see if someone has requested to match with you. So you'll see here Michael Matson. He's someone else that's on the board. He does the community programs. So he's definitely a person that you should know. He's an absolutely incredible human. Um, so let's say you have this match request. You're curious about it. Um, let's go to the accept mentor request. Now you see under active loops, Michael has just shown up here. So we matched. Now it's time for us to book that first meeting. So now that you matched, it's time to schedule that all important first meeting. This is where you introduce yourself, you book and prepare, you meet with your mentor, and then we can put in some notes to see how it went. Oh, good. It looks like we got some more folks trickling in. That's awesome. It's great to see you all. We're just going through Mentor Loop to make sure that everybody knows how to use this incredible tool. So for our first meeting, you are now in a loop with Michael. So our relationship begins. Introduce yourself. All right. So now you can chat. You can do this in real time and uh, and have conversations. But as we can see, we are from all around the world, and so doing this async is also totally a great option as well. So excited to get to know you. Oh, well, there's a note. Don't hit enter. It will not send anything. Hit the button. There you go. So now your conversation has begun. Um, and those will continue in those active loops. So then once we've sent that intro, let's book our first meeting. It already auto generates a first meeting agenda for you, so you do not have to worry about that. If you're local, you can meet in person. Um, but you could also choose for it to create a Zoom link. You can have it do a video call, phone call. Um, well, we'll just do phone call for the sake of me not having to go and create a Google Meet thing. So here you'll see what is that first meeting agenda. So you're going to set the rules of the engagement, talk about how often you want to meet, how you prefer to communicate. Then you introduce yourself, share your goals. Why are you looking for a mentor? Why now? What is it that you hope to achieve? How long are you hoping to have this relationship last? And then you'll kind of determine what those next steps are. So you'll come away with that clear idea of what you're looking for. And if you want to add any notes, this will then be moved over to your loop over here. Um, so then we'll just toggle that off. Let's not create it for this very moment because that would probably confuse him quite a bit. And let's see. The cool thing about this is you don't have to stress about going back and forth with scheduling either. So you'll see that Michael has already said that he is available on these green blocks here. So it takes all that guesswork out. So I'm going to lock in this here. You click it, you click confirm, it's right over there. If you already have decided this is something that you want to repeat, then you can just get it on the calendar just like you would on your Google Calendar or whatever calendar program that you use. Then you hit save. Now you have everything over here, um, but you get to keep everything in one place. And once you set this first meeting up, you'll immediately get an email that says that you've scheduled a phone meeting or however you're going to schedule that with Michael, just so that you know that it's gone through. And then you can add some notes. You can have your takeaways in here. You can have this just be kind of like a safe space for you to build upon. Then, if you want to share goals specifically with Michael and have that be something that's connected to your loop, you can do that. If there are files that you want to share, you can do that there. Really think of this as a hub for the two of you to grow your relationship. Things can evolve, things can change, but we are all very busy people. We all have so many things on our plates. The last thing we need to stress about is remembering every detail from a conversation that happened a month ago. Use the notes feature, use that as your kind of brain dump space so that you have that context the next time you get together and you're able to have those meaningful conversations without having to take a pause to catch up. If you are a mentee, it is awesome to define some goals and to share them with your mentor so that they can help you through that allows you to take your time. You don't feel put on the spot. You don't feel under pressure. You can really be thoughtful in what kind of goals you want to define. So you'll see here right next to Michael, I've got that blue dot. Let's see what's happening over in our loop. Well, it would help here. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, the chat. Let's see. So that notification was because I sent the meeting request. So it's just another ping to let you know. Um, are the notes viewable by both parties? Yes, they are viewable, excuse me, by both parties. So that is a space for you two to kind of keep everything organized together. Great question. Um, so let's talk about goals, because I think that goals are a really important thing to be mindful of when you're thinking about a mentorship relationship, when you're thinking about your own career growth. Um, you can create your goals here. You don't have to share them with anything. Um, but the cool thing about Mentor Loop is it gives you a little bit of guidance into how you can set these up for yourself. It lets you set them and track these goals together. You can share them with a mentor for shared accountability. These can be simple, these can be ambitious, these can be multi steps, whatever it is that helps you and the way that your brain works to really make these goals achievable, do it. There's no right or wrong way to set goals for yourself. What matters is keeping that momentum. I'm somebody that likes to do quick wins. If I have an ambitious goal, I break it down into to small little chunks so that I don't feel overwhelmed by that end result, so that I'm constantly making little moves towards that final goal, because it definitely can get overwhelming and it can be discouraging if you don't get there in a super fast way. So what can you do tomorrow to inch your way forward? What can you do in the next week? Put all those goals in so you can track your progress and you can celebrate them. So if you go over to create the goal, you're going to see the space to label what your goal is. You're going to see what tasks are required to achieve this goal. So if you want to break these down into subtasks, do that. If you want to have specific goals that are those subtasks that are then chunked out, do that. The world is your oyster. When do you want to have this completed? How will you know that you've achieved it? These are all things that you can add. You have the option to then share your goals. I mean, even as a mentor, if you want to share it with your mentee, there's no harm in that because you're both people, you're both working towards something. So let's put in here, what is your goal? I want to get a promotion to a director level. Say the things that sometimes you're a little afraid to say out loud. What tasks are required to achieve this goal? If you have something at work that is a checklist that says you get promoted once you hit these benchmarks, put those benchmarks in there. Put it in a space that's outside of your workspace so that you can brainstorm it with some air. Um, Sometimes when you're in that headspace zone of work and trying to get to that goal there, it can it can just kind of give you a blocker. But moving it somewhere else, thinking about it more abstractly without that work constraint on you, that could definitely help unlock some things. So let's see. Um, Increase team size by 5, for example. Uh, get certification in something. Who knows? Who knows? Add it there. Okay, how will you know that you've achieved this goal? Get the promotion. What date would you like to have this goal completed? Let's be lofty. Let's say I want this to be completed by the end of next month. Maybe you have a performance review coming up and you know that that's when you'll find out if you'll get that promotion or not. Um, all right, I want to share this goal with my mentee. I want this to be a public goal that I have to be held accountable for. All right, and there it is. Now I have my goal. If I have another goal, make another one. That's the cool thing. This is your space. This is, in addition to being a mentorship space, this is also your space to be purposeful in your own growth, to own your own growth, your own success, to be held accountable in a way that is encouraging and validating and supportive. Um, so take advantage of all of these spaces. Where else do we have a space to brain dump goals that are just for us? Share them with people that will be our cheerleaders and help us think about things differently. Um, I mean, LinkedIn doesn't do that. And if they do, I have not found that space yet or been invited to that room. But it's nice to have a safe space over here too. Another cool thing about adding goals, especially when you're in that mentorship program, is it helps that mentorship have a rhythm. You're not just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall. You have a goal, it is defined, and then your mentor can help you get there. You can help you come up with strategies to achieve those goals. Different goals outside of that random one of the director that I threw in there. Complete one book on feedback skills. Um, Force yourself to read. Make time for it. Sometimes we're so brain dead by the end of the day that we don't think we have the capacity, but be surprised. Um, it could even be something attached to like making sure that you are getting out and going for a walk every day to get some fresh air. I am guilty of just staying in my little closet space for way too long. So make that a goal. Go out for a walk outside every weekday for the next 3 weeks. Be held accountable for that. If you want to do public speaking, but you don't know where to start, make your goal that you want to give a lunch and learn talk. Um, if you also want to have a goal that you want to commit to connecting with your mentor every 2 weeks, do that. Have all of these goals in here. You can have as many as you want. Um, so definitely take advantage of that. Do we have any questions so far about setting goals, about finding your matches, sending those communications to your mentor or mentee? Definitely want to make sure everybody has time to ask anything that's been popping up. Got some typing going on. Oh, change the mind. If any questions pop up, put them in here. Oh, good. I'm so glad. It is straightforward, but sometimes it can be intimidating if you're trying to navigate it on your own and you don't know if clicking a button is going to end up sending 1,000 messages to a bunch of random strangers. So I'm glad you're all here so that we can make sure we're all on the same page and we all feel confident to utilize this to its fullest extent. Um, Another cool thing about Mentor Loop is the recommended reading. So if you click on recommended reading, they have curated things for you to pop in there. As this program evolves, you could see book recommendations, you could see different webinars or different newsletters to look forward to. Um, Anything in here is to your benefit. So if you are nervous about being a mentor or a mentee and you want to make sure that you're approaching it the right way, do the training course. Take advantage of it. Do it at your leisure. Um, Actually, that didn't show you. It just popped up. Let's go to share this tab as well. Okay, so this is the Mentor Loop Help Hub, and once you clicked on that guide from the recommended reading dashboard, takes you to the training course, and you'll see here what are the objectives, why mentoring, adopting a mentoring mindset, embarking on the mentoring journey, leveling up. This could be a great thing for you to do after you get off of this webinar here, just to kind of get yourself in that right headspace before you take the leap. Um, we'll go back in here. If you are a mentee and you want to figure out why the heck would somebody sign up to be a mentor, figure out what's in it for the mentor. If you're a mentor and you have no idea what's in it for you, knock yourself out, go for it. Um, One of the interesting things that I found throughout my journey as well, is reading some of these guides and trainings and starting to really immerse yourself into what is mentorship and what are the benefits of mentorship. It became very clear to me early on, every single person has something to share. Everybody has something to give back. And if we keep telling ourselves that we don't have enough experience, or we are not good at those kinds of conversations, and so we would be a terrible mentor, or you don't think that you have the capacity to do it. And that one, I mean, trust your gut on that one. You don't want to take on more than you can handle. But you also can define yourself as a mentor to you have one mentee. That's it. Once you have that one mentee, then you are off the list of people that the algorithm can connect you with for mentors, or yeah, something like that. Those words are very similar. Um, I definitely agree. I think it's great to have those courses on mentors and mentees. Um, Continuing to remind yourself, what does it mean to be a mentor? What does it mean to be a mentee? How am I supposed to take advantage of these spaces? Um, is really, really important, because being a mentor, seeing what happens when you give your time to someone else that is looking for help, watching them as they start to achieve their goals, it is one of the most beautiful things. Uh, no, and you could actually mentor as many people as you want, depending on what your bandwidth is. If we go over, let's just jump back in over here. So if you take a look at, oh wait, probably won't do it for Tom. Um, Let me see here. To do probably my two go-tos, because I already connected with them, aren't going to work. So let's see here. Mentor. Well, we'll just pick and see. So Susan, for example, you'll see up here one of two requests available. So she may already have a mentee, or she has someone that she's in communication with to see if it's a right fit. Um, you get to define how many people you take on. I say start smaller rather than larger, um, because depending on the person that you take on as a mentee, they may want to meet every week. They may want to meet once a month. They may want to meet once a quarter. So if you kind of set things up, all right, I'll start with one. I'll see how this goes. I'll see how this fits into my life. I'll make sure that I feel like I'm able to give this the time and care that it deserves. You do that, and you're like, this is amazing. I wish I could have these conversations with people all the time. Level yourself up. If you look over, I'm pretty sure it's right here. So you'll see available for new matches, maximum number of matches. I am a silly person who put myself as unlimited. But you can define this here. You can change this at any time. If you put yourself as unlimited because it was late and you weren't thinking clearly, like I obviously was, um, and you end up having three people that want to match with you, and you're like, holy cow, this is going to be a full-time job if I keep going. All right, cap yourself at two. You've got those three people that made their requests, assess whether they're all a good fit or not. If it turns out that they are a good fit, go to three. If it's no, I actually really just want to limit myself to two to get started, and maybe there's somebody that I can recommend from one of the other cohorts, do it that way. You can communicate with people whether or not you want to be a match with them. So, for example, you can just kind of have those conversations with others. I could send a message to Susan, and, I could say mentor, mentee. I can put that message in. We can decline it, but we can still communicate over here in those active loops. So, how do you turn someone down with grace? I think that that's a really beautiful question to ask, Gloria. Thank you so much for asking it. Um, be honest. Be honest. You can say, I am so honored that you trusted me enough to submit this request and you were curious enough to enter into this relationship with me. I have taken on more than I can chew, and I want to make sure that you are with a mentor that is able to give themselves to you completely and be able to help you achieve your goals um, in the way that best fits your needs. I have talked with Stuart, and I know that Stuart has the bandwidth to take on someone else, and I think that he would be a really good match for you. Um, would you like me to do an introduction? This is his profile. Send him a message. Don't get in your head, because if we get in our head, we limit ourselves. And if we feel like we've taken on too much, if we start all three of them and realize that we've taken on too much, figure out what are the best two that either fit your bandwidth, your expertise, what you're hoping to get out of something. Um, and then have that conversation with the one that may be too large of a commitment right now. Maybe they want to meet once a week and the other two just want to meet once a month. It has nothing to do with what their needs are or their goals are. It's just the commitment is more than you can do. So be honest. It's much better to be honest and straightforward from the very beginning. Um, because the other person on the other end is going to feel it. If you are stressed, if you are trying to rush through it, if you're just overwhelmed, then you're not going to be able to bring the best version of yourself. You're going to probably feel like crap after the call because you know that you didn't bring the best version of yourself, and that person is going to get a mentor that's not in it 100%, and that's not fair to them either. So just be honest. We're all people. We all have lives. This is volunteer. Uh, Gift that we're giving, and you get to define your time. So don't feel bad if you take on more than you can chew, and you want to cut back. Thank you so much for asking that. So let's see here. Another area that I think is important to highlight is not only just the recommended reading area, uh, but in the, let's see here, the help hub. So let's check out this. I will share the tab this time. So these are not just the ones that were flagged for this program here. These are all of the different things that you can learn from Mentor Loop. How to use Mentor Loop, the mentoring resources. Let's see, what does that look like here? So many articles on how to approach your first meeting, different kinds of agendas. What's the difference between a coach and a mentor? I think that's a super important one to read. Um, Having goal setting frameworks. What are SMART goals? Mentoring agreements. All of these things matter, and they will make it so that the time that you do commit to being a mentor or a mentee is purposeful. And I think that's one of the most important things. You don't want to get on that into that cadence, into that rhythm with the mentor, the mentee, and start every call with, I don't know what we're going to talk about. I don't have anything to share. And if you're a mentor, it is your responsibility to take control of those conversations. Again, lean into Chat GPT if you need to. Say, hey, I've got my first agenda with someone that I'm going to be mentoring. Here's a little bit of me. Here's a little bit of them. Here is some snippets from an article that was in the Help Hub for Mentor Loop. Can you give me, some icebreaker question examples? Can you give me some outlines of what that hour should look like and compare it to what that agenda looks like that Mentor Loop puts together? Figure out what works best for you. Um, but if you are the mentor, you are in control of the time. And so if you want to leave that as an open space for those mentees, then that's something that you need to communicate ahead of time so that you're both on the same page for how you're going to be entering into these spaces. Communication styles vary, expectations vary, and use the chat function if that's easier to kind of get all of that out of the way before you get on that first call. If you're someone that's better communicating back and forth in real time, then have that be the agenda of, let's define what our best working relationship looks like. Let's make sure we're compatible with how we communicate information. Are you somebody that wants, like a slow ramp up to those maybe more difficult conversations, or are you someone that just likes to get right to the point? Do you like me to put notes together beforehand of things that I'm going to flag for you, so that you don't feel anxious hopping on these calls? If you're the mentee and maybe you're not reaching your goals, do you want to have like a live doc that you share with your mentor, that's in that note section or in that file section of your loop? Like if you go here, you could add, a Google Doc for the files, and that can be a living document for you guys. Where you share what your blockers are ahead of time. Give your mentor a minute to maybe come up with some strategies to start to tackle it, some other questions, so that you can make sure that it is as purposeful, as collaborative, and as effective as possible. Or you could decide, I really just want to have just loose conversations with someone about what's going on in my life. I don't even want to set goals right now. I just want to dip my toes into this. I want to just start to feel the benefits of connecting with people within my area of expertise, learning from them, finding out ways that they're doing things. I want them to kind of just tell me about their career, tell me about their day-to-day life. I want to see how it compares to mine. All of these are really valid reasons to go into a mentor mentee relationship, but you just have to be very clear about it up front. um, I have led mentorship programs with other communities in the past, and that was one of the biggest things that would make this not work effectively. Um, and that was, if you did not communicate. Here, I'll stop sharing for a sec. Um, if you didn't communicate well from the very beginning, if you did not have clear expectations, clearly defined rules, boundaries, these are things that we're not going to go into. These are things that we are going to go into. I don't like when people text me. Please email me. It's much easier for me to stay organized. Or I am terrible at checking my email. Please, let's just keep talking in this loop, because that's a lot easier for me to get back into. Um, all of these are valid, but these are all things that need to be acknowledged. So if you want this to be successful, don't have gray area when you're building those relationships with either your mentor or your mentee. Um, and you can both go into it saying, this is my first time doing this. I'm not really sure how to define these areas. And that's also totally fine. Then you guys can figure it out together. You can write your, expectations out together, your cadence out together, and make a plan that works for you. But you can also ask others within the program. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn anytime and ask me questions about how to approach this effectively. If you're running into a blocker with someone, maybe you're realizing that this mentor's approach to your goal is not relevant to the way that your company's set up. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, like I said earlier, different company sizes, different company structures and areas of focus operate very, very differently. They also have their own vocabulary, um, and that's okay. So you may find out 3 weeks in that, you know what, this person that's ex General Motors does not have the same experience that I have. Their corporate structure is very different than, my corporate structure. I don't know if we are the best fit. Just say it. Just say it. And figure out if maybe you want to continue talking about another goal, or maybe you want to have a different mentor. Um, Lean into the people that are a part of this collaborative and use that to get what you need out of this, because the more people we can get into mentor loop, that means the more expertise, the more, just life experiences we bring in here. And mentor loop has a really robust algorithm, and so once things start to beef up a little bit more, you'll start to see organic matches recommended to you, based off of your profile and their profile. That's why the more information you can put in your profile, the better, so that you can really explain who you are and how you work and what you want out of this. Um, so you can find the best matches. But it's trial and error. I mean, similar to trying to find a therapist. You don't always stick with the first therapist that you go and you have that meeting with. Same with a realtor. You don't always stick with the same realtor after that first meeting. Test some stuff out. Play around. Um, there's no harm in it whatsoever. So within Mentor Loop, I will quickly just share one more time so I can show you the dashboard and the highlights. Um, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So the dashboard, I think this is an important place for us to start to close up here. You're going to see the person that you already are building that relationship with. You're going to be reminded of your goals, so you don't have to just start clicking around over here. Recommended reading is in here. The Help Hub is in there. Some highlights are in there. You can see some exciting things that have been happening within the community. If you want to learn more about these highlights, you can go over here and see what's been going on. See all these folks that have been trickling in. If you are so excited about joining this that you want to share it on LinkedIn, you can click share on LinkedIn and it will help generate a post for you. Um, Recommend people that are in your network, recommend people that are on your team. I think that as a leader, it's really important to encourage mentorship outside of your workplace to those that are on your team so that they can have other perspectives, so that they can um, feel comfortable asking questions outside of their workspace. So encourage them to join this as well. This is not just for a senior leadership space. It's for people that are evolving in their career and curious about what is out there as well. Um, Again, the more people we can get on this journey with us, the more exciting it becomes because it's more voices. And I think that there's something really special that can take place within a platform like Mentor Loop. Thank you very much, Gloria. That's very kind of you to say. I'm really happy to be here. I'm so happy for you that came. For those that weren't able to attend live, don't worry, this is all recorded. Um, but I know we've only got 5 minutes left. I just want to make sure that everybody has a moment to either, if you haven't shared your LinkedIn profile, please feel free or ask any questions. But again, don't be a stranger. Find me on LinkedIn. I am more than happy to connect with you there as well. But thank you all for being open to something like this. I wish I was going to that, Gloria. I'm not going to that. Um, but I do think Michael might be going to that. That sounds a little bit familiar. Yeah, it looks like a great opportunity. Oh, how cool. Oh, that's going to be such a great time. You'll have to let us know how it goes. I'm learning about all these different conferences that I hadn't heard of until, over the last year you start to see things on LinkedIn where people are going and my goodness, there are so many wonderful spaces for people to connect. Oh, you're going to be great. Don't be nervous. You obviously are coming into this with the right mindset, and I am sure you're just going to knock it out of the park. Oh, thank you very much. I've learned from some great people, and I'm sure all of you would be awesome mentors too. How about I give you 4 minutes? Ooh, sorry, 3 minutes of your day back. Thank you again so much for coming here. I can't wait to see you on Mentor Loop. I can't wait to see you on LinkedIn. Um, thank you. And hopefully we'll connect soon.